Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans. Lies, shenanigans. Truth, 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 lies, shenanigans. It's the TLS show, coming to you live from the TLS show. It's the TLS show, coming to you live from the TLS show.
Hey, welcome to the Truth, Lies, Shenanigans podcast. Social commentary, hot topics, and amazing guests with a ton of fun and shenanigans along the way. My name is Neo Nix, and I apologize to our Facebook people looking for us online. Looks like we're having trouble with that Facebook feed, so we'll try to get that fixed as soon as possible. This week, our spotlight is on relationship counselor Ciara Simonson. We're going to get to know her a bit, and then the rest of our conversation with her will be all about love and relationships. Then we've got some topics for you. Our main topic is the ongoing Kanye West Pete Davidson feud, which has gone off the rails this week. So Gianni will break it down for us. And in quickfire, Lizzie wants to talk about the freckle-faced child killer being released after nearly 30 years. And Rob B is pissed about indigenous Amazonian lands being overrun for mining by Brazil's president. Before we get into the show, let me introduce you to our not so meek and humble host for the next hour. First up, the professor, journalist, editor, and sports intern mentor at ESPN out of Washington, D.C., Miss Lizzie Enders.
What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday Fun Day. I hope you guys had a very enjoyable and productive week. We are near the end of the first week of the NCAA tournament, and I gotta tell y'all, I am wrecked. I have not slept in 48 hours.
Wow, 48 hours.
Thankfully, thankfully, my eyes
Great.
aren't as red as they were earlier. But it's been a lot of stuff going on my end. A lot of stories editing. Gotta publish a story up right now up on anscape.com from one of my writers that I'm very proud of her for getting that. She had to pivot at the very last minute yesterday. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough.
Oh.
Hopefully, you guys have had a better week than I have.
I think we've all had some tough
Getting it
weeks.
together.
All right. Our gamer, tech guru, and rock star with the rock band Fallen Machine, coming to you from Sudbury, Ontario, Mr. Rob B. Rock.
What's up, everyone? Super Sunday is here upon us once more. Yeah, I had a busy week too. I was working on campus, and my dad still is in the hospital, so stopping by and visiting. And yeah, but other than that, I mean, today was just an amazing morning. Had a breakfast date with three of my favorite ladies, my mom, my granddaughter, my wife. So got to make some pancake dots for the little one who just gobbled them up and got everything sticky. Oh, wonderful morning.
Oh,
Right.
all right. Love that, Rob. All right. Our college student, actress, model, entrepreneur, and host of our newest podcast, Beyond the Scars, streaming from Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Gianni Storm.
Hey guys, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Things are good. I missed you guys again, but things are going pretty well over here. It's actually been a pretty productive week. Yeah, I've been getting it together. I'm actually proud of myself. So
Good.
it's been it's been pretty productive. Like I've kind of balanced things out. I'm not too workload, and I'm never lazy, but I'm not too workload. So it's like
true.
it's a good week. It's I just feel really good and positive going into April,
Like,
going into the spring.
I like that. I'm never
Amazing.
lazy. That's I love that message. All right. So I have a question for you guys. Has anyone looked at and watching the show Upload?
No,
Watched the
Heard of it.
first season. Haven't
Netflix.
watched season 2 yet, but I loved season 1.
Never
Yes.
heard of it.
Okay,
What's
so
it
it's
on?
it's on Prime, Amazon Prime
Prime.
Video. So it's
Oh,
about this
that's
guy who dies, and then he has to upload his consciousness into this virtual world. And I just randomly started watching it, and I thought it was going to be some sci-fi type stuff, but it was so much more than that. It's like got the perfect blend of like comedy, romantic comedy, sci-fi, mystery,
So
thriller. Yeah, it's
Very
like
human story. Very
it
human
really
story.
is, and the acting is really superb, and it was a very surprising show for me. So I suggest it to anybody who's watching.
upload.
Yeah, upload.
Mhm.
Just go. It's really good show. Really, and the episodes are 30 minutes, so it's a really quick binge. So definitely watch.
Okay.
By the way, we are still not online on the TLS page, but we are online on TLSfans.com. So if anyone wants to jump on TLSfans.com Facebook page, you can go there, and we are live. All right, we got to remind
We're on
everyone
YouTube.
we're also on YouTube as well, of course. We got to remind everyone to check out the Beyond the Scars podcast with our own Gianni, Storm, and Olivia, real people with real stories of perseverance. Subscribe today anywhere you get your podcasts, or find them at www.beyondthescars.com. All right, it's time for quick fire. All right, our hosts have some topics they want to share, but only 3 minutes to discuss and 1 minute to hear from the audience. So type those comments
Mhm.
in very fast. You are up, Lizzie. Don't forget about that mute button.
No, it's
Oh, I'm sorry,
Rob B.
Rob B
who's
is up. Rob B is up first. Sorry.
All right. So we're going to take
Don't
this
you
back
forget.
to Brazil and Jair Bolsonaro. Since 2019, under his rule, there's been a decline in federal inspections of mining encroachments into indigenous lands and the Amazon rainforest, and he's passed a number of laws to facilitate this protest. And earlier this week, or last week, March 10th, 15,000 people gathered to protest in Brasilia against a package of bills that are deemed anti-environmental. So try saying that 3 times fast. And anti-indigenous. The lower house of Congress agreed to fast track one of those bills, which would allow mining inside indigenous lands. And that's an activity that's banned under Brazil's constitution. While some lawmakers say they oppose the bills and will vote against them, the bill enjoys the support of the president and the influential agribusiness lobby. So my question is, should the Amazon rainforest be a World Heritage Site to be preserved because we rely on it for clean water and oxygen worldwide?
Lizzie.
I mean, I think the easy, obvious question here is yes. Yes. And this is just a further example of how I honestly believe that humans are imperialist by nature, right? Whether they're taking over, conquering a nation of people in their land, or if they're just going in and conquering the ecosystem and the land itself. There seems to be this innate desire to just, you know what, I want that, and I want to use military force and power to take it over.
Yep.
So yeah, I,
Gianni?
I'm so opposed to this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Gianni?
so to answer Rob's question, yes, of course it should be preserved. But who does this bill serve? This is why I'm so shocked that this is even an option, because this is going to be, I think they said it
That's it.
causes irreversible environmental damage, like in
Oh,
layman
absolutely,
terms.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
absolutely.
like, yeah, the Amazon's like the
Irreversible.
lungs of the earth.
Yeah.
It
It's
destroys
disgusting.
wildlife. It destroys wildlife and animals that we don't even in America don't even know about, that we can't even
Mhm.
easily identify yet. Not to mention the people who live in those areas or the surrounding areas.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
And that
the guy leading it is Bolsonaro. So that's basically Brazil's Trump.
100%.
I
You
was
know,
gonna
and
say
then there's
there's
something to
thousands
be
of
said
people
about
that showed
men.
up. There's thousands of people that showed up, so that tells you the extent and the severity of what's happening. Because I was gonna say really quick, why isn't this such a big deal? But it is, because I
It
was
is a
like
huge deal.
thousands of people, celebrities showed up. So wow, we're facing some
And
interesting.
I think it's been a big deal. I think, because of all the other stuff that's going on in the world, we haven't heard that much about this issue over the past years. But I remember, protesting this in high school,
Yep.
back in the 90s.
Mhm.
So this is something that's not going to go away until we destroy everything, pretty much,
Yep.
until
All
we
right.
destroy it all.
Quick comments online says Jose says it's all about the dollars. This breaks my heart. Absolutely true, Neo Nix. All about the dollars. All about the dollars. All right. Is this truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Some straight up greedy shenanigans.
I
Read.
should put evil. That should be an option.
It is an option. It is pretty evil. It is
I
pretty
thought you said people. Yeah, well, yeah, it is very much people. Yeah.
evil. Mike Wolf says, I am not as worried about rainforest destruction now that nuclear war is back on the table.
I mean,
Damn.
Damn.
All
you
right.
have to be so bleak. You have to be so bleak.
Damn. All right.
Plot
All right, Lizzie, you're up next.
All right. So for all you folks that got freckles out there, this is for you. 28 years ago, 13-year-old Eric Smith was convicted of murdering 4-year-old Derek Roby. Derek Roby was walking from his house to a park that was like maybe 2 blocks away. Yes, he was poor, but he lived in a town of 700 people. Very small town. This was not uncommon. And Eric Smith lured him into the woods, killed him. First, he strangled him, then he badgered his head in with a rock, and then he took a stick
No.
and sodomized him. So he was convicted of he was 13 years old when he did this, convicted of the crime and then sentenced to 9 years to life, right?
Right.
Well, he got out on parole after 28 years in February. So my question to our panel, to our audience, does the crime fit the punishment?
Wait a
Should
minute.
he have been allowed? Should he have been free?
Oh. Let's start with Gianni. Do you think he should have been freed?
I feel like it's side note, but I think it's interesting how only certain people get cute little murderer nicknames. But I think that
Yeah, for black folks, it's just thug. It's just thug. We just call it thug.
right. But I think that that's hard. I'm still bad because I feel like he did serve a lot of time, but
Yeah.
I know he did treatment therapy, but
Yeah.
it's not my
Robbie?
call. I feel like it's not my fight. Yeah, I don't.
I don't know. Crimes against children. I react violently against, and this is the worst of the worst in any other animal society. If an adolescent animal were to kill a, a youngling for no reason, the pack would kill the adolescent or they would drive them away. So the fact that this person got rehabilitated, now he's engaged and going to resume his life in New York is disgusting. It's
Engaged.
disgusting.
Listen,
It's gross.
I ain't got no man. This killer is engaged. This killer is engaged.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only in
so
America.
this is my thoughts. This was almost 30 years ago. He was a child himself. Granted,
He's a
most
teenager.
psychopaths don't do not stop being psychopaths. So he may have psychopathic behavior. I don't know about being free without parole or anything like that, but I mean, he was 13 years old. He was a kid.
Did
you
he
know?
say why? Like, what is your problem, kid?
Like,
Because he was
oh,
picked on. Because he was bullied against. So he wanted to be in a position of power. He wanted to know what it felt like to hurt someone rather than be the one receiving the hurt.
I mean,
That was his reasoning.
it's supposed to
But
be
in
about rehabilitation. Go ahead, 15 seconds.
But in addition to that, he exhibited, even before he killed this 4-year-old child, he exhibited a lot of psychopathic behavior. He was killing all the animals
Mm-hmm.
in the neighborhood.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And showed absolutely no remorse. And I said last week, I'm all for the old yellow treatment. Like, I think we have to stop,
Put him down.
sympathizing with people that pose a threat to the greater good. And I just want to ask you, would you want this kid? Okay, so he's a grown man.
Let's
Would
take it
you
to the
want
after
him to
show.
move next door to you?
I would definitely
Would you
wouldn't, but
want
let's
him?
take it to the after show if we want. Let's take it to the
Never.
after show.
See,
All right, we got some
everybody
comments
else's
online.
problem.
Nah.
All right,
Everybody else's
Jose, what makes
problem.
a 13-year-old do this? Jacqueline Robinson, should he be castrated? Dang, you guys are intense, man, today. All right, so Sonia C. Elias
warrior
Cueto
there.
says he was 13. If he received therapy treatment, he should get a second chance. He was not an
Mm.
adult when he committed the crime. That's how I
He
feel.
gonna come live
We have
next to you?
lifers
He
in
gonna
DC
come?
that were
He
released
gonna come?
in our
He gonna come
productive
live next to
citizens
you?
today. I'm not trying to have him next to me, but I mean, I think he should be on some list.
Exactly.
He should be on some list or
Exactly.
something. I mean,
Exactly. You
people should
want
be
him to go live
aware.
next to somebody else. You want him
People
to
should
go
be
live
aware of
next to
this. All right,
somebody else and pose a threat.
all right, is
Yeah.
this truth,
Yeah.
lies, or shenanigans?
This
It's
is
truth,
evil.
lies, or shenanigans? Nah.
Again, no. This is shenanigans.
It's
Shouldn't
truth.
be.
I'm going with truth. It doesn't make sense, but I'm going with truth because I think as a
Wow, we're so
13-year-old,
divided. I'm just
he's a 13-year-old. He gotta. I mean, come on. We got to give children the
Evil
benefit of the
he
doubt
did so
sometimes.
much. Like
Evil knows
it
no
was so much.
age. Evil knows no age.
I don't know. We
No.
gotta give kids
Evil
the
knows
benefit
no
of the doubt.
age.
We gotta give them
Especially
at
if
some
you
point.
are a
9 years old.
sociopath and a
All right, we'll
psychopath.
come back to this. We'll come back to this. We'll come back after show. After.
Don't come to DC, bruh. I got something for you. Don't come to DC, bruh.
All right, really quickly, let me take a quick moment to shout out our sponsor for today's episode, Utopian Lights Candles. That's Utopian with an E, Lights Candles. I'm sorry, Utopian Lights
Now you're
Luxury
scared.
Candles.
You can't read. You
I
scared
know
now.
you didn't mess me up, man, putting this kid talking about castrating this. Anyway, Utopia Lights Luxury Candles caters to a specific clientele. They focus on clients who are on their healing journey to self-love. Visit utopianlights.co for a healthy glow up. All right, so it is time to bring in our guest. Today's spotlight is on relationship counselor and ordained minister, Ciara Simonson. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the show, Ciara. How are you?
Welcome, Ciara.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in this gracious welcome. I'm glad to be here today.
Happy to have you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get to your extensive background in a bit, but let's start off with something a little fun. Can you tell our audience something interesting about you that we would not be able to Google about
Oh my gosh.
it?
Great question. And actually, I thought I would start off by sharing that most people don't know that I'm a homeschool mom, but I guess you can Google that about me because anything you post on social media can be Googled, right? So
That's
I guess we need
true.
to take it back pre-social media, that life. Not too much I want to disclose about that life, right? But I guess I can share which before I started my what I call my vocation as an ordained minister and as a relationship therapist. I used to be an events manager. I used to be an event planner. And so I
Ah,
worked in the
Oh,
advertising, marketing, communications industry. I worked with Uniworld, the Uniworld Group. And so, yeah, this is before social media was a thing. And I traveled
wow.
and worked in the entertainment industry. Mhm.
all right. So
That's
okay,
cool.
so you've been an ordained minister. You currently an ordained minister, and you do
Mhm.
imago relationship counseling. So how long have you been doing that, and what led you down that path to this passion of yours?
Mhm.
So, what led to my ordination was really a call to um, I would say a call that I believe, by God was not only to study to share myself approved, but a call to connect with others and really help my community. It was really this call to humanitarianism and really identifying the humanistic nature of our community. How can I help others become their best self? How can I encourage? How can I inspire? So I looked at faith. And faith, I don't necessarily claim the religious aspect. And so I also have to just say that I went to divinity school, not Bible school, right? And so
Okay.
I look at religion in its totality of how our faith practice can actually help to support one to be their best self.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it began. But I love God. I love Jesus. I love sharing the goodness of God's grace, and that is what I like to share to help inspire others. That's what I know personally. So that's what I share. So that's the ordination track. What I learned and discovered in my work in the church was that there were a lot of people coming to church hurting
Mm,
en masse.
mm,
And just coming to receive a word that speaks to God's love was not really helping to heal the woundedness that one experienced when they attend the church service or worship experience. So I wanted to go a little deeper in my study to really tap into some of the woundedness that was experienced in the churches that I served.
okay.
So that's kind of where the work in pastoral counseling came in. It's been quite a journey, I would say, a journey of discovery and discovering my desire to help others. I've learned so much about myself
Mm.
and have also grown to heal in the process, which is why I identify myself as the wounded healer.
I get the impression that a lot of like people who get into therapy and counseling are themselves wounded in some way and trying to make it make sense. Do you find that to be the case?
It's the constant search, right, for meaning. It's about meaning making. And so whether it's personal experiences, and most times it is personal, or observed experiences, extended family, friends, that has impact or shaped and formed our lives in such a way that there's a heart or desire to do something about it, to fix it, to make it better, to help.
All
Mhm.
right, before we get to the other questions, you're working on a doctorate. You're working on your doctorate right now, and you have an interesting, very interesting doctoral project. Can you quickly tell us more about that and what you're working on?
Yeah, so I'm currently a doctoral student, and I literally just finished my research proposal um, on the subject topic of perinatal bereavement and how African American couples endure perinatal bereavement. How are
What
couples
what is
impacted by the experience?
perinatal? What is perinatal? For our audience out there that may not have
Perinatal.
an idea what that means.
So we can look at it as early pregnancy and infant loss. So when you think about perinatal, that's a baby that's still in utero,
So we're
that's
talking.
still in the womb.
So if we put it
Mhm.
in other terms, we're talking about miscarriages, or are we talking strictly
Ectopic loss,
ectopic loss,
stillbirth, yeah,
stillbirth?
Okay.
stillbirth.
Okay. All
Um, so yeah, anytime that there is a pregnancy loss, that's what I would classify as perinatal bereavement. So bereavement is the grief that's
right.
associated with the loss. And this topic is a significant topic because the issue of infant mortality, or say pregnancy loss, remains a major health concern, particularly within the African American community. um, African American couples, women, are twice as likely to experience infant mortality or pregnancy
Oh, I
loss,
didn't know that.
early
Hmm.
infant loss. Yeah. In fact, there was a recent study at the National Center for Health Statistics that just came out right before 2020 that actually shows that 2017, 18, and 19, what the data reports. And it shows that even though there has been a decrease, a decline in infant mortality as a whole, African Americans are still twice as likely to experience loss in comparison to, say, white, Caucasian, or I'm going to say, and Hispanic women.
Oh,
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
all right.
Hmm.
Wow.
Let me Let me try to get in another question here. I'm going to start with Robbie on this
Well, I'm curious with your counseling practice and the work that you do in the community, what sets Ciara Simonson apart from others in the same field?
hmm So, as a relationship therapist, I mean, how many people can you identify when you think about therapy as a relationship therapist?
one.
I am
Many.
trained. I am actually trained in imago relationship therapy, which is a modality, let's say a therapeutic modality that was designed specifically for couples. Most people who identify themselves as a couples therapist, and that's what they would identify themselves as a couples therapist,
Mhm.
usually take models that has been designed for individual therapy and try to apply it into, with two people. But whereas Imago was specifically designed through the lens of a relational paradigm. So it really looks at how two are connected and the
Mm,
space that's between the two, that's identified in the relationship. And so it's a really beautiful practice and study that has not only informed my love and joy as a therapist working with couples. I always say when I work with my individual clients, you know, you come in here and you complain about your partner, you might as well just bring your partner in. Don't tell me this, tell your partner.
that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's, but the idea is we're born in relationship, we're wounded in relationship, we heal and grow in relationship. And so
Mm,
I identify my work as unique because of this specific training that has helped me to not only work with my clients, but it's also become a paradigm for how I see life. And this is also where my theology comes into play, because I do believe that God has created us to be relational beings and that God is, in relationship with us or wants to be in relationship with us.
okay. All right, there's a couple comments online. So we're looking at Olivia says, "Woohoo! I'm going to homeschool my kids too," and she also says, "God." Jacqueline Robinson has a question. She says, "As a pastoral counselor, has your faith been in conflict with the scientific part of your discipline?"
Great question. So I would say that my faith has always been, if I had to make reference to a book that's titled Faith Seeking Understanding, uh, my training has been specifically looking at integrating my faith, spirituality with science, right? And how does it work? So how do I understand my spiritual practices and faith practices, and how does that integrate with what I understand about um, science, just psychology in and of itself? So it's always been about seeking to understand how the two are um, integrated and how the two intersect.
All right, Gianni?
My question is more seeking advice from your expertise. It's a relational question. What does a healthy relationship look like in your opinion? If you,
Ooh,
Hmm.
I know it's probably a mouthful, but
it's pretty broad, but it's a good question. Great question. What
It's,
I'm
it's, it's,
curious
an
too.
excellent, it's an excellent question. And I always tell my clients that the health of a relationship is not so much not getting into any ruptures or not having um, moments of disconnect, but it's how well or how soon can you recover from it, right? So it's not about the rupture as much as it is about the repair. And so you can assess, evaluate the health of a relationship that let's say, when an argument or when a disagreement happens, how quickly can you repair that
yeah.
disconnect, that argument, tension that shows up. It's recognizing that when tension arises, that it is it's an opportunity for growth. Conflict, tension is an opportunity for growth. So when you can change your perspective and paradigm around how you see the tension within the relationship, and do the work to explore what's trying to happen here, what's trying to grow, what needs to be healed, right? What's going on? Then that really helps. That's if I have to give a benchmark, the benchmark for assessing a healthy relationship. But when you get stuck in
Uh-huh. So you're
go
good.
ahead.
I was gonna say, so
Uh-huh.
I assume a lot of people come into to you, and they're angry, pissed. They're just. I mean, you're probably getting them at their worst. So how do you like take them from their worst to somewhere, what, to somewhere at least reasonable, where they're having
Yeah.
conversations and talking?
I have to remind people, as a relationship therapist, my specialization is in conflict management. People are not happy when they come to see me.
I bet.
So it's a journey. It's a journey,
Wow.
and I'm continuously having to encourage my clients to trust the process. And this is trusting the process of developing a sense of consciousness,
Mhm.
conscious awareness. And when one has already set in their mind the vision, let's say, that they want, for the ideal relationship that they want, then you have everything within you. The couple already has everything within them to fulfill that potential. It's just a matter of identifying specifically what is needed, right? And what are you committed to?
Yeah.
My husband and we've been married for 14 years now. And I would say the success of our marriage, with all the challenges that we've endured, it has not been a walk in the park, folks. But we have an annual agreement where we just kind of renew. Say, we're going to do this for another year. I guess it's working.
That's
Okay. You know
interesting.
what?
Okay. I
Right.
like that.
Yeah. But it's also just evaluating where are the areas that we need to stretch, and what are we committed to. And because we're committed to making it work,
Yeah.
it works.
Okay.
That what you focus on, the energy that you put as part of your focus will grow,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
that's the
Okay.
principle, universal principle.
Okay. Liz?
Mhm.
I'm curious, as someone who has been a bridesmaid 8 times, who has who has a lot of friends who started off, this is my life partner, and now they're going through divorce or separation or whatever. What do you find to be the number one conflict between couples when they come to see you?
Hmm.
Great
Because
question.
Mm-hmm.
in my head, it's the same thing. It's the same thing across the board, but you may find it to be something different,
So you're
drastically
saying, like,
different.
is it money? Is it cheating?
Is it
Is it,
money? Is it infidelity? Is it, lying,
Communication.
bad communication? That,
or
like,
like
what?
would you say miscarriages, or what was the
Yes.
official term? What's the official term you called it again?
And perinatal loss.
Perinatal loss. Is it those
Yeah,
things?
we could just say early pregnancy or infant loss.
Infant loss.
So we kind of group those together.
Okay.
So excellent question. I mean, just on the surface, you can say that money, sex,
Mhm.
children, infidelity, those are some of the major triggers that impact the relationship dynamic. Grief, loss,
Mhm.
huge.
Yeah, but you said on the
Um,
surface. I noticed that.
but I say that on the surface because there's a deeper work, right, that has to do with the internal working model for the individuals and how they come into the relationship. So if you remember what I said in the beginning about healthy relationships, is developing a sense of conscious awareness. And so we enter into the relationship, first stage of the relationship, and the dopamine, the oxytocins of, oh, I found the one. Everything is just wonderful and it's great. And guess what? When the tension rises, everything that was great in the beginning just is not all lost. But what happens is, yeah, life happens. And some of the
Mhm.
stuff that has been suppressed, repressed, unconscious begins to get triggered or comes to the surface by the partner. And you've been trying to push that stuff away for so long. So now you see it, right? It's being reflected in your partner. You're like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what to do with it. You know what? I'm out. I
Mm-hmm.
can't take this anymore. And so before um, going to do the work to develop a sense of, okay, well, what is this that's impacting me? What is triggering me to behave or react or respond in a certain way? You do what you've always done and check out, quit, right? Say, peace. I can't do this anymore. It's too much. It's too much to bear. And that's kind of how one had to survive. And that's really an adaptation for survival. So it's important to remember why you got married in the first place, and to
Mm-hmm.
know that all that stuff
Mhm.
um, that you fell in love with in the beginning does not just go away because the stressors of life are now challenging you. It's to look at that and to ask the question, okay, what is it that I need to learn from this? What is it that's happening here that is calling me to stretch and grow in a new way? What is it that I'm being asked of or for? Or what's happening here? I mean, and then granted, there are some times if there's abuse,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
probably do need to just leave, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If there is some abuse, and then there are times where things are just what you call, what is it in divorce, irreconcilable differences.
Differences. Yeah.
They
There are some things. Yeah.
Irreconcilable differences, right? Where
they
people just
won't
make a
stop
decision.
cheating.
Right.
They won't stop
Well,
cheating. They won't stop lying. All that stuff.
yeah,
On
Do you
some
think?
line.
they don't want to change.
Do
They're not committed to doing the work, right? And
right.
so there comes a point where you just have to say, enough's enough. But the call to stretch, the call to grow requires change.
I think Liz has
And
one more question. I'm sorry.
it's
Go ahead.
both. Mhm.
No, go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Just one more question. So,
Well,
do
wait,
you
wait,
think
wait, Liz.
that?
Before you go, let me just get these little comments. I got one from Mike Winter. Says cheating is a symptom of another problem. Usually, so many people that I know have so much self work to do and bring that
Yeah.
brokenness into their relationship. And then
Yeah.
Lady Annie Burrill says, communication, listening. Been with my hubs for 28 years.
Wow.
Oh,
Hugs and
good for
kisses.
you.
Uh,
Good for
Nice.
you.
Jose says acceptance and non-attachment, open heart, mind. All right, final question.
Yes. So.
Final question. So, did your clientele list increase during the pandemic?
Mm,
Did you find you had more clients during the pandemic?
Interesting. Yeah.
So there is a great demand for support during the pandemic. I would say I saw the demand, but I also saw a lot of people who went into survival mode from
Mm,
a financial standpoint and not
yes,
really
that's a
wanting
good.
to pay for this. So that's one of the
Right.
challenges with relationship
Right.
therapists is that some insurance companies don't cover, right? That
Mm,
so that's a whole other thing. But
Mhm.
it's a
Mhm.
luxury, right? Therapy is considered, a luxury. It's like going to the gym. Who wants to pay for the gym membership?
yeah,
I need to
because
go.
insurance doesn't pay for that most times. Doesn't pay for relationship therapy, from what I
but the weird
understand.
thing is, insurance or companies will pay for your gym membership before they pay for
Yes,
Yeah.
your therapy.
That's true.
for relationship
That's
For
therapy. I
sure.
weird.
think uh, I
Hmm.
think the insurance companies now are paying for therapy, mental health therapy for yourself, but they won't do it for your relationship.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
One
Right.
more comment. People, it looks like Rob B's on YouTube said, "Hurt people hurt people. You have to love yourself before you can truly love another." Nice message, Rob B. And then Mike Winter responded, "Hurt people do not have to hurt people. They need to address that hurt, acknowledge it, and learn some coping mechanisms." You agree,
And
Ciara?
remember, folks, I hurt harder. I hurt harder. So don't hurt me.
As a warning.
Unfortunately, we are. Wait, you're saying you're hurt back harder? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So
retaliation.
you retaliate. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. All
I'm
right. That's a
holding
whole nother.
Gandhi, y'all.
That might be another
Holding
session with you, Ciara. We might have to
Holding
come back to that one.
Seriously.
All right. That's all the time we
I'd be
have for
happy to. This is a hot topic,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Especially during the
And it's a good
pandemic, for real.
and it's a good
Yeah.
segue into our main topic with
Which is
hurt people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Kanye and Pete
yeah.
Davidson. Okay. All right. So,
Mhm.
Ciara, this is all the time we have. Do you have any last words, some shout outs, or anything you'd like to tell our audience? And also, please let them know where they can find you.
Oh, absolutely. So I would encourage you to assess where you are in your relationship. How soon can you do that repair work, right? And reconcile the relationship to get to that place where you are living out or experiencing the relationship that you've always imagined. If you find yourself experiencing some tension, conflict, yes, reach out to a relationship therapist. I can be reached at the Imago Center DC, imagocenterdc.com. You can look it up. I'm not the only therapist there, but one of a few. I have a whole cadre of colleagues who are obviously trained in this model. You can also check out the book, Getting the Love You Want. For the singles out there, it's Keeping the Love You Find, right? Because it's a whole thing. At the end of the day, relationship it really begins with you and you being able to take some inventory, self assessment where you are, areas that you're seeking to heal, to grow, to stretch. And what's needed. I think that's it. And appreciate the ones that you are in relationship with. And for those who are single, learn how to appreciate yourselves. When you're able
Yeah.
to do it for you, you can do it with others.
Yeah.
So yes, you got to know love to show love.
Yeah.
And knowing love begins with how do you love
Of
yourself?
yourself. Yeah, we say that all the time on the show. I know we repeat that because you got to love yourself first. I just have one more question. I mean, one more quick, if you can respond really quickly to this one. Um, do you think relationships should end whenever they become physical, or you handle each case individually? Are there some situations where you say this abusive situation could work?
Yeah, I handle each case individually
Have
and
you
as a separate
seen
situation.
have you seen
I've
abusive
had
relationships
clients.
work?
Yeah, yes, I've actually had clients who have been physically abused and decided to stay. Of course, I'm looking like what, but but my work is not to judge one's decision. Um,
Fair.
it's really to support and help one to identify what's best for them and give them the tools that they need so they can feel at they're operating or working from their best selves within that situation. So it's no judgment either way. Like, if you choose to stay, then you choose to stay.
Okay.
So let's figure out how to make that work.
All right. Thank you so much, Ciara. Check the Imago
Thank
Center
you.
DC. Go ahead and Google that. We appreciate you so much for joining us. And we'll have you back again because we got to talk about this some more. We
Yes.
we
Okay.
definitely have to talk about Lizzie and her hurting back. So we got to talk about that. Thank you.
Self-defense.
Dive deep in
Self-defense.
that one.
Self-defense.
All right. All right. Thank you again, Ciara. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, wrong thing. Sorry. All right. All right. So we got Mike Winter was online. Says hurt people. Alf, Putin, Eric Trump, My Pillow, Bama, and Steve Bannon. He's on YouTube. All right.
My
That's-
pillow, Bama.
all right. That was a great guest. Great guest.
Yeah.
Great guest. All right. So let's get to our final topic, our main topic today.
Uh-oh.
All right, Gianna, you got Kanye and Pete Davidson. Things got worse this week. What is going on?
Yes, yes, yes. So, in case you've been living under a rock, here's a quick rundown of the Kanye versus Pete Davidson beef. So, as you know, in October, Kim K began dating Pete Davidson, Saturday Night Live comic. Over the weekend, the internet went into a frenzy as Pete Davidson made his first public response to Kanye West. Pete Davidson called Kanye West embarrassing, and begged him to stop harassing Kim Kardashian in a series of leaked messages after months of what people are calling online attacks. It says, well, Pete Davidson said to Kanye, "Yo, it's Skeet. Can you please take a second and calm down?" Davidson allegedly wrote to the rapper that it's 8 a.m. and it doesn't gotta be like this. Kim is literally the best mother I've ever met. What she does for those kids is amazing, and you're so effing lucky that she's your kid's mom. I've decided I'm not gonna let you treat us this way anymore, and I'm not done being quiet. Grow the F up. So Kanye responds to Pete. Oh my God, I'm lost. Kanye responds to Pete. They go back and forth. To sum it up, Kanye would like to meet with Pete at his Sunday service. Pete insists that they meet alone and privately. And my question actually to the panel is your thoughts on how the escalation of this drama has been handled by both the men. And do you think Pete Davidson is wrong for sending those texts to Kanye? He also mentioned he was in bed with his wife. Just to
Mm,
put that out there.
mm,
Oh,
mm.
not the picture.
Right.
All right, let's start with Robbie.
Uh,
Yes.
it's it's antagonistic, yeah, for sure. But Kanye's been begging for it. I mean, he has just been chirping nonstop. That poor boy needs maybe some type of counseling so that he can just be good with himself. But someone within his inner circle has failed him because he needs help, man. Like they should be intervening, get the courts involved so that he can take some time away where the meds are force fed into him and he can start living
Force
outside of
fed.
the ether.
Poor
Dude,
Yang.
That's
he
not a
needs
thing.
medication, man. He's not right, and he's
You
going
can't
to.
do that here. You can't do that here
But
unless
you
he
need.
is physically abusive, unless he physically harms them or himself.
You can't do that here.
You can't do that here.
He wants to force
Man,
feed.
Illegal.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'm
It-
Finish
just
up.
saying. But yeah, like it's
Intense.
and this beef, like Kim needs to be the boss lady that she pretends to be in the media and slap a restraining order on Kanye and just deal with this shit. Just, Pete, block this guy on all your social media. Don't engage publicly. Some kind of sex NDA. Don't text my ex-husband that you're in bed with me. This
All
is just
You think they would
messy
have
and
one of
high
those?
school and childish. It's just horrible. I
All
feel
right.
bad. I feel bad for the kids.
The online comments are lighting up, but Liz, go ahead.
It's all bullshit.
Thank
Okay.
I don't feel sorry for anybody involved, not Kanye, not Pete Davidson, not even Kim. Because lest we forget, and when I say that, I'm not saying that to absolve Kanye of any of his boorish behavior. I think it's disgusting. However, he didn't start this shit a month ago. This was years in the making when he was bullying Taylor Swift, when he was bullying and slut shaming Amber Rose. And in both situations, Kim was there instigating, retweeting his stuff, and being a part of it. She loved it then when it wasn't about her. But now that it's in her face, it's like, oh, woe is me. So, and again, I'm not condoning any of his stuff. But these are people, like you have said, Rob, these are people with an enormous amount of money.
Mhm.
If they wanted
Enormous.
to shut this
He
shit
keeps
down,
saying that he's the richest
could.
black man in America, which is not exactly
Kim-
true, but he's the second richest.
and Kim calls herself now a billionaire, right? These people know how to fix this. Instead, they're taking it to social media. They're making every tweet, every argument, every incident public because there's no such thing as bad press to them. They only
Mhm.
stay relevant if they keep talking about it. And Kim is too dumb enough. This is how much she buys into that argument. She's too dumb enough to realize that Pete disrespected her and her children when he was like, I'm in bed with your wife. What?
That was quite. Yeah, it was all right. So look, so let me get to these comments online because they're going to start adding up. So let me get to a few. Robin Johnson says, Dr. J, the petty in me enjoyed the bed comment. Jacqueline Robinson,
Yeah.
the problem is that they both have diagnosed personality disorders. Kanye has no friends who aren't on his payroll. That's interesting. All right.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
Jose says grown ass adults acting like children. Mike Wolf, they are
Children.
very wealthy. They're all very wealthy people. I would spend my concern elsewhere. That said, for the record, Kanye is also beefing with me for some reason. Oh, all right.
Mike
All right.
Wolf, you know I got your back. You know I got your back always.
We got
Mike
your
Wolf.
back, Mike. We got
All
your
right.
back.
Mike Winter says Kanye needs to be back on his meds. He'd be picking at Pete for a minute. The reply was so immature. All right, we got some supporters of Kanye though. We got a couple of supporters of Kanye. So Olivia says, "I love Kanye. Conscious, God-fearing folks recognize when they can't define you, they crucify you." And then he's
You
talking.
love the Kanye that was talking ill about slaves, that was talking ill about Harriet Tubman, that
Yeah.
was walking around with a
To-
swastika
to-
and a Confederate flag on his jacket. You
Yeah.
love that Kanye?
All right.
Kanye,
Yeah.
okay.
She also says
to-
Pete.
it-
Hold on.
Alright.
She also says Pete
Okay.
Davidson and Kim are embarrassing, run around with a married woman, because they
Wow.
apparently she was still married at the time they started dating,
But
and
she was
then
still married when he was still married to Chris Humphries when she got pregnant with North by Kanye. Like, let's be
good
real
point.
about
Good point.
Kanye.
Good
That is
point.
Let's be
true.
All
real
right.
about who Kim Kardashian is here.
Sonia
Yeah.
says I support Kanye. All right, go ahead, Gianni. You had
He
something to
don't
say.
support you.
In Kanye's defense, the reason why I also like Kanye is it, and I can't defend all his actions. I will never defend another man's actions. That's on everything. But
Running short on
with
time.
Kanye, he out of all of the billionaire celebs is a little bit. I don't like the word conscious and woke because it's getting weird now and it's becoming something it's not.
Ah,
But Kanye, I feel like Kanye
What?
is a little bit misunderstood, and I agree with Liz that what's her face? Kim needs to take more accountability in this scenario. It's almost like she's that's why I feel like the whole thing is a publicity stunt because it's like you're letting this whole thing burn, and yeah. But to Kanye's offense, him attacking, let me use these quotes, attacking Pete, I think was what man would want to see another man like be with his wife though? You know what I mean? Like we're watching this
Excuse me.
well,
literal
ex-wife at that
Didn't
point.
he just have a
Ex-wife.
Didn't he just have
At
a
that point, they were
girlfriend?
ex-wife.
Didn't he just have a
It-
girlfriend?
Yeah, he had two. He's had two since.
Yeah.
Two. Actually,
Emotional
three.
response.
Three. Has
Actually,
it been three? Yeah. So
It's been
Ka-
three.
Kanye's fine.
He
Kanye's
got
just.
three girlfriends.
To some degree, I think Kanye is doing this to get attention. To
They're
some
all
degree,
doing it for attention.
I don't know that
They're
Pete
all doing
Davidson. I
it
think
for
Pete
attention.
Davidson is doing it. I mean, he wants to be with Kim
I
for
think
attention, but I really think he's actually worried because Kanye's people.
He
He was
should be.
at one point. Kanye actually told his people to kind of like go after, kind of not go after him physically, but to go after them. And then Kim says, hey, you got to stop doing that. You're putting him in danger. And so he wrote back, upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle the situation myself. On top of that, he put out, we talked about his song, or we didn't talk about his song. He put out a song. What's the name of the song?
I don't know, but it was very obvious who it was directed at.
Well, yeah.
It's art.
It's called
you
Easy.
know.
It's actually a really good song, to be honest with you. But in the song, he actually does a second video for the song, and it's clearly Pete Davidson, right? It's clearly Pete Davidson. He's like capturing Pete Davidson, and then he's walking around with Pete Davidson's head. I
Mhm.
mean, Kanye has really gone off the rails. I want to support him because, I know we're talking about mental
Gone off the
illness and all
rails.
of that, but Kanye is off the rails at this point.
He's been off the rails, and I didn't see
For a
anyone
while.
with this sense of urgency when Eminem was running around making songs about killing the mother of his child.
Yeah.
Like,
Tim,
come on,
yep.
people.
All right, unfortunately,
Let's call a spade a spade.
we don't have any more time for
That
this.
was
They're
And I-
all horrible people. Stop go running to the press with all your bullshit. Stop
I
calling
do
the
think it's
paparazzi and
shenanigans.
letting us know everything.
Just one last comment online.
Oh.
I want to get out. So, Robin Johnson says, sorry, wealth does not have to do with the problem here. Non-wealthy women suffer through this. Hate Kim all you want, but this is a serious problem for women. And then Sonia says, North will grow up and tell it all. Lady Annie Burrill says, spoiled peeps. Spoiled peeps, Lady Annie.
I
Burrill says.
absolutely agree that this is a serious problem for
Now,
women.
this is
but
definitely
this woman is a fame whore, and she's not taking advantage of her resources to help herself because she wants the headline.
Of course she wants to have
And I
that.
don't want any. I don't want anything bad to happen to Kim.
That's
at
how she
all.
became a billionaire.
At
Because
all.
all right, so let's go. Is this truth,
Truth,
lies, or shenanigans? All about shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Everything in life is bullshit these days. Everything in life is bullshit these days.
All right, looks
lot
like
of it
Ciara
going
might be
around.
sticking around for our after show. So let's go ahead and get into our game show. All right. All right, so we had a relationship counselor and we're talking about Kim and Kanye. So we're doing celebrity couples trivia. All right. This should be fun. We'll go around the horn with the questions. Correct answers get a point, and a person with the most points
Were
gets
these questions fact checked?
I like Matthew McConaughey.
right. Fact check. I don't know if they're fact check. This is actually from who is this by?
Yeah, these fact check. That's true.
This is the Atlanta Journal Constitution, so I assume it was fact checked.
It's got the word Constitution.
So,
Gotta be true.
all right.
Official.
All right. So, this is for Gianni Storm. Which singer did Matthew McConaughey date? Madonna, Katy Perry, Brandy, or Janet Jackson?
I thought he was into like black women. Maybe
Date or have
Katy
sex
Perry.
with?
You said Katy Perry? Oh, you should have
Maybe.
stuck with your original thought. Janet Jackson. The pair reportedly had a fling in
Ah.
2002 after hitting it off with the Grammy Awards. So I guess he is into black women. Like,
Reportedly is not accuracy.
all right. Which actor did Ashley Olsen date? This is for Rob B. With that from the Olsen twins. All right. Andrew Garfield, Jared Leto, Zac Efron, or John Stamos. Her uncle on the show.
Yeah. So, dude, points for picking a category that I'd like tune out of on purposely. But I'm gonna say Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Jared.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, did you give him the answer, Gianni? Oh, look at you. Oh,
No.
that's.
I
All
said,
right.
who is Andrew Garfield? I've never heard of him.
I've never heard the name either. All right, that's correct.
What?
One half of the Olsen twins dated the Oscar winner in 2005. And then again in 2012, they also reportedly hooked up again in 2014. All right.
Oh, on again, off again.
All right, this for Lizzie. What actress did Liam Neeson date? Is that Julianne Moore, Jodie Foster, Julia Roberts, or Meryl Streep?
Liam Neeson.
Hmm.
I know he ain't date my girl. I know he ain't date my girl. I'm,
Your girl.
God, I'm gonna have to say Julia Roberts.
I can
That
see
is correct. All right. The Satisfaction and Michael Collins co-stars reportedly hooked up when Roberts was 19 and Neeson was 35. Good Lord.
My girl is Jodie Foster. My girl
All right.
is Jodie
Okay,
Foster.
because of time, we're gonna go with Rob B and Lizzie. Sorry, Gianni, you're out. Because of time, this is gonna be our final question. Sorry, Gianni. You should have got the first answer right. All right.
That was a great reaction. That was a
All right.
great reaction.
Which actor did Kim Cattrall date? Would that be, this is for Robbie, would Pierce Brosnan, Michael Douglas, Bruce Willis, or Chris Noth?
Who's Kim Cattrall?
Sex in the City. Sex in the City. Dude.
Oh, wow. Gianna, your age just is
Ah.
coming through.
Her name's
Fix
cute.
it, Black Jesus. Fix it, Black
I'm
Jesus.
gonna say Chris
Not quite.
Noth.
Chris Noth.
Chris Noth.
That is incorrect. The pair reportedly hooked up
Damn.
in Bruce Willis. They hooked up in 2003 after meeting
Wrong answer.
at party hosted by P. Diddy. All right, Lizzie, this is for the win. This is for the win.
Hooking up isn't dating, though.
Oh,
Hooking
gosh.
up is not dating.
All right. For the so which actress did Seth MacFarlane date?
Who is that?
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know who that is.
One of the greatest storytellers
Oh,
of our
yeah.
time.
Are you really? You're really calling him the greatest storyteller of all time? All right, Michelle
Yes.
Williams,
Is that
Yes.
Allison Flanagan, Laura Prepon, or Eliza
Allison
Dushku?
Hannigan?
That's who
Not
you're going
Michelle
with?
Hannigan. No, I'm correcting you. You said Flanagan.
Oh, did I say
I don't
Flanagan?
know who Laura. I don't know who Laura.
That's 70s show.
I
Oh,
don't know who Laura
Orange is the New
Prepon.
Black.
Laura Prepon?
I'm
I
gonna go
hope
with
you're
Laura
right.
Prepon.
Oh, you're not correct.
Wrong answer.
Eliza Dushku. That's what that was my guess. A Family
Really?
Guide creator and Dollhouse star.
Wow.
All right, whoever gets this answer right the quickest. Which actor
Which
did
one
Paris
didn't he date?
Hilton date? Russell Crowe,
Corey
Kilmer.
Feldman.
Corey
Val Kilmer.
Feldman, Kevin
Feldman.
Costner, or Val Kilmer. All right, I'm going to click Corey Feldman, but that is incorrect.
Wrong.
The correct answer is Val Kilmer, which means, Robbie, you win the game.
wow.
Good for you, Robbie, because it could have been any one of the four. It could have been any one of the four for that
All
one.
right, let's get some quick shout outs in. All right, Gianni, shout outs.
Shout out to my mother's birthday is tomorrow, and my yeah, shout out to my mom.
Happy
She
birthday,
would
Mom.
be 51.
You
50
don't have to
years
tell her
old.
age.
I
Dang.
know.
Just put it out there, man.
But yeah, my family's gonna be doing like a balloon. I don't know what it's called, like a balloon releasing, and they're gonna tell like funny stories about her tomorrow. So I'll be in FaceTime. I'll be there. But yeah, that's
Good.
gonna
Awesome.
be nice. So shout out to my
All right,
mom.
Robbie Rock, shout out.
I want to give a shout out to all of the staff and volunteers at Health Sciences North in Sudbury. This is a group of hardworking and dedicated people, and I just want to personally express my gratitude for everything that you do in our community.
All right, Lizzie.
Shout out to my Finnish goddaughter, Paulina, who is in Finland right now. She turned 18 a week and a half ago. I'm sorry, 19 a week and a half ago, and I forgot.
Oh, that's not good.
Dad, Auntie Lizzie, you know, there's a war going on. There's all this bullshit going on in the States. But happy birthday, sweetheart. I love you. And hopefully I can see you for your graduation in June. Hopefully.
All right. And my shout out goes to my nieces, Adrian, who's 8, and Simone, who's 15. We had a birthday party for them last night, so happy birthday to you both. And actually, I'm missing, unfortunately, her kitty party over at Posh right now. So, fortunately, I'm missing that. But happy birthday, happy birthday. And our final shout out goes to the winner of our Pet Shenanigans of the Week. This week, the shout out goes to
Goodness.
Rin Bell. Cute little basset hound. All right.
Chubbs the Basset Hound.
Chubbs.
Look at the paws and the ears on that thing.
I saw
So
you the
cute. Aw.
All right, to see all of the pets and post your pet photos and videos, join TLS Pet Shenanigans Facebook group at mypetshenanigans.com. And that is officially all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. We hope that you maybe learned something, gained a new perspective, even got some things off your chest, especially with that Kanye stuff. We'll be back next week with another amazing guest, Marcus Eason, one of our COVID Chronicle survivors who lost several fingers due to COVID. He'll be coming back to let us know how he's doing today. And don't run too far. We're going to leave the record button on for our after show conversation, streaming live exclusively on TLSfans.com Facebook page, immediately following the show. And it's available for our podcast subscribers later in the week at TLSpod.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Beyond the Scars, beyondthescars.show. And our winner for the final thought, Miss Lizzie, close us out. I'm sorry, Robbie Rock. Robbie Rock was our winner.
Right?
Robbie
For-
Rock. Lizzie
First to
already
have
won
it.
two last weeks, past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a special shout out to all of the caregivers out there. Stay strong. It's nothing like having another kid, and only another caregiver can really relate to what you're living. So, yeah, stay strong.
All right. I love that, Robbie.
Props to the
Good stuff.
caregiver.
Thank
Props to the
you.
caregiver.
Thank you, Lizzie, Gianni, Robbie Rock. But special thank you to Ciara Simonson. Most importantly, we got to thank
Ciara.
you. Thank you for watching and listening to all our shenanigans each and every week. And we will see you next time.